also. Okay, good morning. It's nice that we are meeting in the first period itself today. Now, as I had promised, I would start a new chapter today on mensuration, is what I told you. So, because we are fresh in the morning today, we shall take up the introductory part of the lesson, where we will be trying to recall few of the formulae that we have already done in the earlier classes. All right. In this lesson on mensuration, we are going to deal with 2D figures, that is polygons, and also solids, basic solids like the cube, cuboid, cylinder, and the cone maybe. So before we go to the three-dimensional solids, first we will try to revise all those polygons whose perimeter and areas are known to us. Then we will move on to the solids. Now, in between these solids and the polygons that we are going to take up, we will have a few more new polygons that was introduced to you in chapter 3, where you had the quadrilaterals discussed. We have discussed about various kinds of quadrilaterals, starting from the trapezium, the kites, the parallelograms, which again branched into the rhombus, the rectangles, and the squares. So based on their properties, we already know each of these polygons in detail. Now what we are going to study in this chapter is about its perimeter as well as the area. So before we take up special kinds of polygons, we will quickly go and revisit all those basic polygons that we know and how we did calculate their perimeter and area. Now, before we go and try to recall this perimeter and area, we will first try to understand what is the difference between the perimeter and the area. Okay, so now I think I will go and play a video for you. It's a very short video because it is very colorful and interesting. I thought I'll play that for you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Those who have joined late, please do not forget to put your names in the chat box. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to pause my audio now, so I will not be speaking in between, okay? So that's why I'm asking if you're seeing the screen. I'm going to play it. Before that, let me mute my audio.
Topics to be covered in this lesson are introduction, perimeter versus area, trapezium, general quadrilateral, rhombus, and polygon. Now let us look at some scenarios that we come across in our day-to-day life. For example, you have a field, maybe in your native town or village, and you want to fence the field. That means you want to put a boundary on that field. So how would you put that boundary? I mean, let's say that you need to bring the raw materials to do the fencing around the field. Now, how much raw material would you need? So how do you know that? So in order to know that, you need to find out the entire length of the boundary, because only when you know the entire length, you would know how much of material do you need to make that boundary. So how do you find the length? So that is something which we will focus in this lesson. Let's look at one more example. Let's say this is your room and you want to get a carpet flooring done for the room. So what do you need to measure in this case? Because you again need to know, right, that what should be, how much big or small the carpet has to be. So in order to do that, you need to know the area of the floor. That means how much area does the floor cover. So this entire area will decide what should be the size of the carpet that you need to do the flooring. Let's say this is your door and you want to laminate the door. So in order to laminate the door, again, you should know what is the total area of the door so that you can arrange for materials to get it laminated. right? So what are we talking about in all these examples? So in the first example, we were talking about the length of the boundary. So whenever we talk about the boundary alone, we are basically talking about perimeter. And when we are talking about the entire space that is covered by that particular object, for example, in case of the door or in case of the floor, at that time we are talking about area. And in this lesson, we are not only going to talk about perimeter and area of some simple shapes, but also about some more generic shapes. Let's look at this example. So here you have a wire which is in the shape of a square. So if I ask you that, okay, I need a wire such that I can make it in the shape of this square. So how much length of the wire would be needed to make the square? So in that case, again, what do you need to know? You need to know the total length of the boundary. So if you are able to find out the total length of the boundary, you have basically found out the total length of the wire with which you have made this square. So here also, since you are dealing with the boundary, you are basically talking about perimeter. So we have already learned about perimeter and area of few shapes like squares and rectangles in our previous class. So here we will learn about how to find perimeter and area of slightly more complex shapes like polygons and general quadrilaterals. So very quickly, once again, perimeter versus area. So when it comes to perimeter, it is the boundary of a closed figure. So here on the screen, you see many different shapes. You see a triangle, rectangle, square, rhombus, hexagon. So you see different shapes. But when you look at each of these shapes, the black boundary that you have, the black line denotes the entire boundary. And the total length of this boundary is the perimeter. Whereas when we talk about area, it is the region occupied by the closed figure. So for example, in all of these images, the colored portion represents the area. For example, the orange colored portion represents the area of the triangle. The yellow colored region represents the area of this rectangle. The green region is the area of the square, and so on. So that is how we differentiate between perimeter and area. Now we have already learned about perimeter and area of some basic shapes. For example, a square. So what is the area and perimeter of a square? So in case of a square, length of all the sides are equal. So let's assume that length of each side is L. In this case, the area of the square would be L square, that is L into L. And what would be the perimeter? Perimeter is sum of 4 sides. So that becomes 4 times L. Rectangle. How about rectangle? Here opposite sides are equal in length. So if this is L, this is also L. If this is breadth, that is B, then this is also B. So in case of a rectangle, area is equal to length into breadth, and perimeter is equal to 2 into length plus breadth. So again, whenever you want to find the perimeter, it is just the sum of all the sides. So in case of square and rectangle, perimeter is sum of all the 4 sides. And from that, we deduce these formulae. Parallelogram. So parallelogram is that quadrilateral where the opposite sides are parallel. So in case of a parallelogram, if you talk about its area is base into height. So that's the area of a parallelogram, where this is the base and this is the height. So this base into height would be the area. And what about the perimeter? So perimeter would be sum of 4 sides. A triangle. Now, in case of triangle, you have many different types of triangle. You can have a scalene triangle, equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, right angle triangle. So there are many different types of triangle. But the generic formula to find out the area of a triangle is half into base into height. Why is that? That's because you can always divide a parallelogram into 2 triangles. right? So when you look at this parallelogram, with the diagonal, you can always divide it into two triangles. So the area of a triangle is always half the area of the parallelogram, that is half into base into height, where for this triangle, this is the base and this is the height, because this is a right angle triangle. And in case of this triangle, if this is the base, then this is the height, the perpendicular drawn from the opposite vertex. So this is how we find out the area. And what about the perimeter? So in case of a triangle, perimeter would be equal to sum of the three sides. And finally, we have a circle. How about a circle? So circle is not a polygon, so we really do not have sides here. But still, when we talk about area of a circle is given by pi r square, where r is the radius of the circle. And what about the perimeter? So perimeter in case of a circle is known as circumference. So that is just a term which is specially given to the perimeter of a circle. That is the total length of this boundary of the circle, which is given by 2 pi r, where r again is the radius of the circle. So these are some of the shapes for which we have already learned about their perimeter and area, and how do we make use of them in our day-to-day life. So
Okay, I think I will get back to the board now because I just introduced those formulae for you. So we will now quickly write it down in our notebooks, both the perimeter and the areas of these figures that we have just seen. So I am going back to the board. You also will take your classwork and make a note of these formulae that we have already revised. Okay, I'm just going to draw the figure, give its perimeter and its area. So you will do it along with me. So let me go back to the board. You also will get back to your classworks. I hope the board is visible.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Board is not visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then I think you can take your classwork and start preparing this tabular column where you will recall the perimeter as well as the area of these 5 basic shapes we have just seen. Okay, and those who have joined late, please do not forget to put your names in the chat box. The chapter is mensuration. Please write it down. Is there a mirror image? I don't know. Just a minute. Yeah, is it all right now? So we have those 5 basic shapes, areas and perimeters. Of basic polygons. So we will make the tabulation. The first one, we will take up a square. You can draw a square whose side we will mark as some A units. So this is the perimeter first you will write. Then you will write down the area. This is how we will go about for each figure. So the first one, the perimeter of the square will be 4 into side, which is 4 into A, and area will be A into A. Alright, that's how you recall the formula. The second one is the rectangle that we have seen. So rectangle, unlike a square, will have only the opposite sides are equal. That is, it will have a length and a breadth. So when I need to find the perimeter, I know I have to add all the 4 sides. So it will be 2 times L and 2 times B. Or we know it is 2 times L plus B. And when you want the area, it will be L into B. If you want, you can shade the area like this. The boundary is the perimeter, and what is inside the boundary becomes the area. The third figure that we had was we'll take up the triangle first. Okay, I should write triangle. I hope you are writing it in your classwork because we require it when we take up the problems in the next class. As it was discussed, there are various kinds of triangles which will be there. So based on the type of the triangle, we will have the formulae to be different, like an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, or a right triangle, or any other ordinary scalene triangle. So depending on the type of the triangle, the formulae will vary. But the general formula for any given triangle, we usually write it as half into base into height. Perimeter is the sum of the three sides. So we don't have a particular formula that we have to recall. Only add all the three sides, you will get the perimeter of the triangle. And the fourth figure that we were discussing was the parallelogram. Now the parallelogram is easier for us to recall because when we draw the diagonal of a parallelogram, we know we are dividing it into two triangles. So you will have one height here and the other one here. If this is the height, the diagonal itself will become the base of the triangle. So here again the perimeter will be sum of four sides because in a parallelogram there are four sides. When you add all the four sides, you will get the perimeter. And when you want the area, you know, because two triangles make up one parallelogram. So if one triangle is half times base into height and another triangle is again half into base into height, totally it will be base into height which will be giving the area of the parallelogram. And the last one that we have seen was the circle. Now with respect to a circle, we will see it differently because it is not a polygon, it does not have any straight edge. But still, I think we have derived this formula and experimentally you should have verified also that the perimeter for a circle is called its circumference. That is the boundary of the circle is 2 pi r and the area is pi r square, where my pi is equal to 22 by 7. Alright, so this much you should be able to recall. I hope it is visible. Yeah, are you seeing it? This you will please write it down in your classwork. Because we will be taking up 2 or 3 examples of how to find perimeter and areas of various polygons, for which you must know these formulae. I should not be recalling this formula every time. Whenever you are able to identify the polygon that is given in the question, you should be appropriately substituting the formula for perimeter or area depending on what is asked in the question. Is that clear? Should I wait for some more time or shall I proceed?
Ma'am, you can proceed, ma'am.
Okay, is there still someone writing or struggling to complete? Please tell me, I'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. Because I have another small video where I am introducing the trapezium. We will view that video and maybe we'll stop our class today here. Then we will take up the problems in the next class. So I think I'll get back to my presentation mode where I will present the second video that I want you to see. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think I'll mute my audio and come back.
Say we have a trapezium like this. This side is given as B, this side is A, and the height is given to us as H. Now the question for us is to find out the area of this trapezium. How can we find out? Easiest way we said is divide it into figures that we already know the areas for. So if I draw these two lines, I'll get 2 triangles and a rectangle in between. We know how to find the area of a triangle. We also know how to find the area of a rectangle. Now this entire length is given to us as A. Once we draw these 2 lines, this gets divided into 3 line segments. Out of that, this will be B. Because this is a rectangle, this will be B. Say this is C and this is D. Find the area of this triangle. What is the area of this triangle? Half base into height. So half C into H. Similarly, for this triangle, it will again be half base into height. So half D into H. Now the rectangle in between will be length into breadth, which is B into H. We add all 3 up, we'll get the area of the figure. Now you can see that you can take half into H common from there. if you take half into h common and outside, in the first term, inside the bracket, you'll be left with c. In the second term, you'll get d. And in the third term, you'll get 2 times b because there's no half there. Instead of writing it as b into h, if I want to show half h, I can write it as half into 2 into b into h, right? That's why you get a 2b there. Now we can write this 2b as b plus b. We can split it out. So I can write it as half h into c plus d plus b plus b. What is, if you add up the first 3 terms, what is that giving you? What is c plus d plus b? Look at your figure. C plus d plus b is nothing but this entire length a. So instead of c plus d plus b, we can replace it by a. The next b remains as it is. So this gives us half into h into a plus b. That is the formula for your area of a trapezium. It is half height into sum of parallel sides.
Now I just want you to draw a trapezium first, divide it into 2 triangles and 1 rectangle by drawing those dotted lines as she has shown you, and then derive this formula also in your notebook. So what I will do is I will once again go back to the video and pause it at that place where the figure is visible so that I can avoid drawing it on the board. Now you will look at the diagram on the video and draw it again in a notebook and complete this entire formula till you reach area of a trapezium is equal to half into height into sum of the parallel sides. So I think first you go, take your notebook and draw this trapezium first and mark all the sides as she has given you in the figure. So go on, take your notebook and start writing this. Draw a trapezium first. Draw these 2 dotted lines which will become the height of the trapezium. By drawing those 2 dotted lines, you have completely divided the trapezium into 1 triangle on the left. In the center, you have a rectangle, and again on the right side, you have another triangle. So we will be naming all these sides in the particular way that she has done it also. So the top segment or the top of the trapezium, I am labeling it as B. And the bottom of the trapezium, I am labeling it as A. All right. And then when you draw these dotted lines, there is a rectangle which is formed, whose base will be B itself and whose height will be H. So this you will mark it. If this is H, this will also become H. Now if this is A, B, and the entire length of the trapezium or the bottom of the trapezium is A, and we mark this as D and this as C. That is the 2 base of the 2 triangles as D and C. Then you will be able to write the area of this trapezium as the combination of area of triangle 1 plus area of rectangle plus area of triangle 2. That's exactly what she has shown here. Half into base into height, the first triangle. Then half into base into height, the second triangle, plus half into your 2 times L plus B. Why it is half again here? We are talking about the area of the rectangle. So what it should be? What is the area of rectangle? Just now we have written, no? What's the area of a rectangle?
2 into L plus B.
No, area. Sorry, I'm not asking the perimeter.
Length into breadth. L into breadth.
L into B. So for me, the length of the rectangle here is clearly visible as B. And the breadth is nothing but the height of the trapezium. Trapezium ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ height ಆಗಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. But now rectangle ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ the length of the rectangle is B and the breadth of the rectangle is H. That's why it is B into H. This half you don't have to get confused at all about. You simply write the area of the rectangle is B into H. All right. Then your total area will become half times H into A plus B. How this has come, I will show it to you in the previous slide there. Now first draw the diagram. I'll just get back. Okay, I'm just replaying the video for you to make it convenient to make you draw that thing. Okay, I'm just muting now.
Let's find the area of this triangle. What is the area of this triangle? Half base into height.
Write it down now. The area of figure 1, which is the triangle shown there. Please write it down. I'm giving you this time so that you can write it down. Hurry up, please. We have only another 5 minutes. We'll quickly finish this trapezium and get back to the problems in the next class.
Finish, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just play it forward.
So
Finish,
half
ma'am.
C into H. Similarly, for this triangle, it will again be half base into height. So half D into H.
I hope you're writing it. The second figure, again, it is half into base into height, which is the second triangle that she has shown here. So it will be half into D into H.
Now the rectangle in between will be length into breadth, which is B into H.
So write down the area of the rectangle will be length into breadth, which is B into H. The next step, we have to add these 3 areas. That's exactly what she'll be showing you. So I hope these 3 areas are ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We add all 3 up, we'll get the area of the figure. Now you can see that you can take half into H common from there. If you take half into H common and outside, in the first term, inside the bracket, you'll be left with C. The second term, you'll get D. And in the third term, you'll get 2 times B because there's no half there. Instead of writing it as B into H, if I want to show half H, I can write it as half into 2 into B into H, right? That's why you get a 2B there. Now we can write this 2B as B plus B. We can split it out. So I can write it as half H into C plus D plus B plus B. What is, if you add up the first 3 terms, what is that giving you? What is C plus D plus B? Look at your figure. C plus D plus B is nothing but this entire length A. So instead of C plus D plus B, we can replace it by A. The next B remains as it is. So this gives us half into H into A plus B. That is the formula for your area of a trapezium. It is half height into sum of parallel sides. If you think about it now, that is actually what even area of a parallelogram is. Can you calculate area of a parallelogram using this formula? Half H into sum of parallel sides? You actually can, right? What would change in a parallelogram? If instead of being a trapezium, this was a parallelogram, what would change? This will be B, this will also be B, correct? Both will be equal and these 2 sides are there. Height is H. So now do half H sum of parallel sides. Half into height into B plus B, correct? Half into height into B plus B, which is nothing but half height into 2B. 2 and 2 get cancelled. B into H, which is what was the formula for area of a parallelogram.
Sorry. I hope you have understood both the area of a trapezium and the area of a parallelogram. From the area of trapezium itself, you will be able to get the area of your parallelogram also, which she has explained so clearly. Anyway, I'm recording the entire stretch that we have done today. So please, if you have not completed any of your formulae so far, please complete it so that we can take up the problems in our next class. All right. So I think with that, we will stop our class here today. We will rejoin maybe on Tuesday and Thursday, sir would be taking. So Wednesday and Friday will be mine. All right. I hope you are clear with the schedule. Tuesday and Thursday, sir would be taking. I will meet you back on Wednesday and again Friday maybe. All right. So this week we will be in a position to complete the mensuration is what I am hoping for. What is sir doing now?
I'm comparing quantity. I'm comparing quantity.
Okay. Will it get over now in this